Here's a problem from Chapter 7. In the week before and the week after the holiday, there were 10,000 total deaths, and 4,951 of them occurred in the week before the holiday. Construct a 95% confidence interval estimate of the proportion of deaths in the week before the holiday to the total deaths of the weeks before and the week after the holiday. Based on the results, does there appear to be any indication that people can temporarily postpone their deaths to survive the holiday? We can kind of take a quick glance at this and see that it's about 50%, and let's see if we can construct this to be more statistically specific. What we're going to do is we're going to use our calculators to find this confidence interval. We will press stat and we'll go to test and we'll scroll down to one prop z test. Well, let's go down further. We are looking for the confidence interval, so let's do one prop z int. So this is a confidence interval for proportion. Select enter, and it's asking us for the x value. So our x value is going to be the total number, or not the total number, but the number in question. That would be 4951. Enter, and then n is our total, which is 10,000. And then we're looking for the confidence level. We're looking at the 95% confidence. So you can put 0.95 or you just put 95 and the calculator can figure that out. Calculate, and then we get our values. So we have point, round to 3 decimal places, 0.485 and 0.505, let's call it. So the next question is, based on the results, does there appear to be any indication that people can temporarily postpone their deaths? So no, because the proportion could easily be equal to 50%. Interval is not less than 50% the week before the holidays. And then the second part says yes, because a proportion could easily be equal to that. Could not be easily equal to that. Well, the proportion, if you look at the proportion, interval proportion, we're at about 50%. And in fact, 50% is within these intervals. So I would say no. It doesn't look like they can postpone their deaths. If this was, if this had an interval that did not have 50%, then you can say that there seems to be more or less depending on what the situation is. In this case, they're looking for temporarily postponing them, so we would want this to be considerably less than 50% before the holidays versus after the holidays. But that is not the case, so let's select no for this one. So the reasoning is a little bit more involved, and you have to be able to understand the problem really well. But if you just think it through, I think it'll be okay.